Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to another episode of Big Bud Farm. And we have now got our grains to harvest. Oops. Hopefully we should be getting straw. No, we're not. Okay. Now we are. There we go. So, we have two fields to harvest today. We have field 5 here with our barley. And we also have field 1 with sunflowers. Obviously, we need this straw because our cows haven't got any straw bedding and we haven't got any straw for TMR. So they've been kind of living off hay for the last couple of weeks. We've got silage that is fermenting in the pit up by the cows. And once we've collected everything here, we'll be in a position to actually make a proper batch of TMR. Although we are running a little bit low on hay, and I have used up the last of the grass to feed our sheep. So we are going to have to do some mowing again pretty soon as well. But we can at least get all of the straw sort of collected up, put a load of bedding down, and at least have the materials that we need straw-wise for the TMR. So we're in a pretty good position right now. We have a big chunk of cash, as you can see. We are currently losing around about $10,000 a day, maybe a little bit more in terms of daily debt. So getting our cows up to 100% is kind of critical to balance the books. But we also have quite a lot of product to sell. So if we just take a quick look at our crop overview, you can see we have 434,000 litres of canola, just waiting for the right price for that. We have 131,000 litres of sunflowers and a big field of another probably 350,000 litres worth or so to harvest. We also have 57,000 litres of soybean sitting in our inventory, 77,500 litres of corn, and 608,000 litres of sugar beets left over from our big sugar beet sale the other day. I didn't change out the storage modules. I decided to stick with the ones that we already had. They hold 300,000 litres each, and the new sell point holds a massive 2 million, which seems a little bit excessive to me. But on top of that, you know, I've paid a lot of money for those shelters already. They're $90,000 each. So because they're placeables, we can't get a good return on them. The best we'll get is half of that. So it would be a massive hit to get rid of those four. Just getting rid of the four of them would cost us effectively $180,000 in lost money. So decided to stick with the ones that we have. We have plenty of capacity, as I say. We have 1.2 million litres worth of capacity, and we're currently using around about half of that. So I didn't see the need to replace those. We won't be doing beets, you know, all the time, and when we do, it's going to be on this field here. So we're going to have a smaller, you know, harvest in total. So I think we've got pretty much all we need in terms of storage. We can maybe add an extra one or two of those little hangers in if necessary further down the line. But for now, they will do absolutely fine. I did add in a workshop into that little area. It still needs a little bit more development. Still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to finish the area off in terms of its appearance and its design. So that's something for me to think about there. But I have kind of created a path in front of the hangers so that I can see how close I need to be to tip. Basically, I've just rolled out a section of the ploughed ground to create the illusion of a pathway, and what I'm going to do is probably stick some trees or something in that gap just to help create that separation and stop everything from looking quite so flat and empty. Going to add some other random little buildings in there as well from the placeables list. We'll end up with quite a nice looking area, I hope. Just got to, figure out exactly how I'm going to get there. And once we've done all of our harvesting, it'll be time to sort of reset our fields again. So that'll be going back to cultivating. We may even have to plough a field or two. And then from there, it'll be the next round of crops and start the saving up process for field 2. The field isn't quite fully subsidised by the helping contracts yet. It's about 5.4 million to buy that field at the moment, and I think there's 1, maybe 2 contract jobs left to get that fully subsidised down to hopefully around about 5 million. And now that we're sitting in a reasonably strong position, we've got 100 and something cows, and we have bred a few. We've got about 150 odd sheep. Our income from those is starting to increase and come along quite nicely. And with this straw to make all of our TMR, we'll be in a really strong position. We could always do another silage run at the BGA, sorry. We haven't done that for a while, and we know that we can get a good $500,000 per bunker, if not a little bit more as well. So it's full of potential options for us. We are definitely going to need to do a silage run as we start working towards buying field 4 here. It's such a big expensive field, even fully subsidised. That's still 6.5 million. So a lot of fundraising is needed to get everything exactly where we need it. I will obviously do a little bit of contract work as it pops up, but with only 1 field really, that's 2 fields, but with only the 2 fields left, it does kind of limit my options a little bit with contract work. And when we buy field 2, we'll only have 1 field left for contract work, so that will again limit the options that we have to us in terms of raising extra money through outside work. It's going to put us in an interesting position. We'll have to do a lot more selling of our grain, selling of things like our logs. It's all sorts of ways that we can actually raise money now. We have a nice little forestry setup. It doesn't raise huge amounts of money, but it does raise some money. We have our cows that are nearing 100% now that we have the straw on the way. We have our sheep that are producing wool at a steady rate. And we've had a couple of great demands for wool already, so we're building up a nice little stockpile at the moment, and as that continues, we will end up in a pretty strong position. If we get another great demand, we'll be able to sell a boatload of wool at a great price. And we have a new crop type that we can play about with as well in our beets. We have, as I say, 600,000 litres sitting in storage. So we have a nice little sort of nest egg sitting there for when we get a really good price. I mean, we had a great demand as we were selling off, but it wasn't a stunning price, and already I think we are close to matching that price at one of our other sell points already, which is, that's still price is still going up. Obviously, the downside with the beets is if we do sell them, it'll be sold in chunks. So each trailer, the value will go down. But it's not the end of the world. It just means we'll probably end up having to wait for a demand or a really, really strong price before we can sell those. I am toying with the idea of adding in the sell point mod for beets, just to give us an extra option when it comes to selling those. If we look at our current list of sell points, you can see that we have 3 potential sell points for beets. We have the small farm, Valley Grains, and the diner. Now we could add in the sell point mod, which would give us a 4th option, and hopefully that price would be pretty competitive. And you can see that our mill prices are now showing at the top here as well. So we have our placeable mill. Nothing stellar price-wise there at the moment. We have got some prices that are going up, as you can see. I'm quite worried by that corn price. That corn price is terrible at $219. It does make me wonder just how much variance we're going to see in the prices at the mill. But we have got that as an option for us to sell as a sell point now as well. So we're sitting in a pretty decent position. We just now kind of need to start raising money and saving money. We've been spending an awful lot over a consistent basis with our expansions, and we're now almost pretty much at a point where all we need to do now is just start saving up. So I'm going to continue to work this field, and then once it's done, I'll move us over to the next field, and we'll make a start on that as well. And of course the AI is playing up on this field, as it always does. I keep forgetting it's going to do this. So sat here waiting for it to turn around, and it stopped partway down. You can see there's a break in the straw there. I had to finish that row off manually, and as soon as I try and start the worker again on this one, it immediately just stops. So frustrating that the AI just does not like this field for some reason. I don't know why. It's this little sort of boxed area over here, but it can play up all the way along the majority of this final stretch as well. So frustrating, but not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately. It does mean that we're going to finish this row off ourselves manually. There we go. So to get the straw up, because we don't have a forage wagon, we're going to bale all the straw. We have our auto stacker, so we can take the bales all the way up nice and quickly to the top farm. Or we can stack them, which is what we'll probably do, stack them at the end of the field, load them onto one of our bale trailers, or both, if we need both. And then we can ferry them all up, you know, in one go. And then we have our self-propelled mixer at the top with our cows as well. We can just throw the bales in there to break them down back into normal straw. It saves us having to get something like a blower. And then we can use that to, as I say, break our straw down into to loose straw again, use it for bedding, and also to fill up our forage and chip silo. Put a load of straw in there. And I want to see whether I can actually mix up my my hay and my silage, and then just dump those in with the mixing wagon. I've done it before using, you know, a sort of a pull behind mixing wagon, where I'll throw in, you know, depending on the capacity, if it's only got a 12,000 litre capacity, 1 bale of hay and 2 bales of silage, throw those in, and then switch it round. The next one do, you know, 2 bales of hay and 1 bale of silage, and throw that in. As long as I have the straw bedding down, it still works and gives me the power food. This time round we have a 16,000 litre capacity in our self-propelled mower, no, self-propelled mixer. So that'll be, you know, effectively a 50-50 split. But I don't have a lot of hay left. I've only got 28,000 litres left. It's not a lot. So what I'm probably going to do is do a sort of a 1/3, 2/3 mix, because I've got quite a lot of silage that's fermenting. A lot more silage than I do a lot more silage than I do hay. So I can definitely, you know, mix up what I need and dump it straight into the food trough. But beyond that, I don't know if the mix that I'll create will be accepted as TMR in the silo. That's the next kind of test. Will it dump it into the silo in its constituent parts, or will it actually take it as a mix and count it as TMR? It's an interesting one. I guess we'll find that out. As we finish our field off here. Let's see just how much we end up with. And I'm not too worried about those tiny little tufts that we've missed. Right, there we go. Let's turn the blade off. We'll tip this directly into the trailer. Might as well. There we go. And while that's doing that, let's cycle through, find the right 450. There it is. Let's bring this down as well. So we're going to have a nice little stash of barley. Not a huge amount, but it was never about getting the crop. It was always about getting the straw. That was the reason that we did the barley. And the reason I did it on this field was I didn't want to end up with 200 bales like I did last time when I did wheat on field 3 and generated 200 bales purely on that field. So I want to avoid that. We should end up with around, I think, 70, 80 bales maybe off this field, I think, if memory serves. That's not a bad amount. It's more than we need to at least get our TMR started. We could always do another straw harvest, and at another point. Let's see if I can back this up and get close enough. Can I? Yes, I can. There we go. Ah, now that's interesting. I didn't realise I could actually move the nozzle from side to side as well. I knew I could lift it up and down, but I've never seen it. I never knew I could rotate it like that. That's pretty cool. See, that's the rotation that I was aware of. I did not know I could also tilt it sideways. You learn something every day. And there we go. That is our barley harvest done. So let's drop that there for a second. Jump in our truck and we'll take that up to the silo and go deposit that. So starting the baling process. I was going to do the next harvest straight away, but I kind of want to get these straw bales up there. I want to see what's going to happen when I try and put a partial mix of TMR into the silos, see if it actually accepts it. Plus I want to get bedding down for the cows nice and quickly so they start producing manure, and also give us that productivity boost as well. And we are very, very low on food, if not completely out of food for the cows as well. So really they are quite pressing, need to get on it as soon as possible. So we're spitting bales out the back. As you can see, our auto stack is up at the top with the cows, and we'll have to bring that down. We're also going to need to bring down the telehandler with the bale fork so we can stack all of the bales nicely onto the bale trailers as and when we need them. So a huge stack of bales to work my way through. I'll get these done and I will come back with you in just a moment. There we go, that's the field finished off. So all that remains now is to grab our auto stacker, start scooping these bales up and sticking them at the end of the field. We're going to need to clear some space, so let's move our combine back to the farm. and take the big bug with it as well. There you can see, there's that path that I was telling you about that I kind of cut in. So that white strip, or that bare strip in the middle, that's where the trees are going to be planted. There's a divider between sort of the main area and the pathway needed to be close enough to actually fill those storage areas. If you get too far away from them, then obviously you can't tip your trailer. So that path there is created as a guide point, so I know where I need to position the truck, you know, distance-wise when I pull alongside to empty it. Oh, there we go. It's the trailer brought over. Let's get connected up here. I also need to go back and get the auto stack as well. That's the final piece of the puzzle that we need over here. But everything else is now in place, so let's just hop over there. We'll drop our baler off and grab the auto stacker, and then we'll start loading onto our trailers and moving everything up to the cows. Well, how's about that? Just driving along and we have another demand for sugar beet, this time for 18 hours. Oh, I've just dropped my bale pusher. So let's grab the auto stacker and then let's take a look at that price and see just how good it is. Our cows are really hurting. You can see our food trough is pretty much empty. And it's the same with the grass trough as well. We have no grass, well, a tiny little bit of grass left, no hay or silage, so they're no longer producing milk. Sheep are fine. But let's take a look at that price. Oh, and that's a pretty decent price at Small Farm. It's 18 hours, so we're going to wait and see if that actually fluctuates at all over the next hour or two. See if it starts going up or starts going down. And hopefully it'll go up a little bit more before we sell. But we have 600,000 litres of beets to sell. So the better the price, the more money we get. Alright, let's start stacking up some bales. Probably not going to need this bale grab much longer, actually. Now that we've got this auto stacker here, I may as well just get rid of it. Let's just sell it off. Got so much equipment. Look at all this stuff that we've got. There it is, 750 bucks. Wow. Might as well. Oh, no. Do not want to sell the silo. Big mistake that would have been. Right, we've cleared the field off, as you can see. These are the last bales that need to be collected. We've got 4 full stacks, so that's 8 stacks, that's 1 trailer, so I think these 10 will be trailer number 2. So I'm going to drop these just here to the side. There we go. So our auto stacker has done its job. Let's move that out of the way. Park that just there. Let's hop up and into our JCB. Let's start loading up these trailers. I wonder, actually. I haven't tried doing this before. Let's see. I think last time I just did them in standard stacks. Let's see if I can actually grab them on sideways stacks like this. Can't remember how I did it last time, whether I did this or not. This could save me a lot of time. This could be potentially disastrous. It's quite a lot of weight. I need to make sure I get the angle right. So far, so good. Ooh, ooh, big wobble. Very big wobble. Wow. That was very nearly disastrous. Alright, so this is always the trickiest part, is lining up on the trailer. I think that's pretty good. Look to be relatively straight. That'll do for me. And there we go, we have our first stack. Let's tie those down. Oops. There we go. Check the store as well for prices. Beet price has not changed. So it looks as though we have until, I think, 7 in the morning. We had 18 hours, didn't we? So 12 hours on will take us through to 11 PM. And then the other 6 hours... Oh no, it takes us to 5 AM, not 7 AM. So we have plenty of time to sell those beets. We don't have to sell them right now. There's no immediate rush. Of course, it's got a little bit cloudy and a little bit overcast, but it will get sunny again as the day progresses. Oh, we are very wonky. Let's try that again. That looks a bit better. Slide the bales on. Yeah, that's good enough. Actually, I think I'll undo that one just in case it's going to cause issues with the next stack. So, 3 more full stacks to do, then a partial stack. I'll get those done, and then we'll get those bales transported up to the main farm. That's the first trailer done, and we still have a full stack here as well, so I slightly miscalculated just how many bales we had. But that's a good thing. It's slightly more than I thought we were going to come out with. So it just means it's not quite as long. It'll, it won't be quite so soon that we have to do this again. These supplies will last us a little bit longer than initially anticipated because we have more of them. So, on to trailer number 2. Just wobbling around a little bit there. To be expected when we have this much weight on the end of our forks. There we go. That's the first stack down. 2 and a bit more to go. I wonder, can I actually get this all in one single stack? If I position these forks just right, I might be able to do it. Can, but is the weight going to be too much? You can see it's bouncing around. It's definitely more than our little JCB. Well, I say our little, it's quite a big JCB. It's the biggest and most powerful of all the telehandlers, but it's not comfortable with that amount of weight on the front, but it is doing it. It's lifting the rear wheels off quite badly, look. Oh, this is uncomfortable. I just need to guide it in. I can just guide it there. Try and straighten her up a bit. It's a little wonky, but it's on. That's all that matters. So, let's strap those bales down. It should go to 5, it does. Fantastic, we have all of our bales. So, now we need to get these transported up to the main farm. So, let's stick this back on the low loader trailer. We'll come back for that in just a moment. Could really do with maybe a second truck, but it's not vital at this stage. We'll leave that there. Let's take these bales up. And then we can start to break things down up there. Just have to be careful not to take a corner too fast and tip with the weight that we have here. Alright, let's leave the trailers just there. Let's go back and grab the low loader with our telehandler on it. Ooh, nearly crashed then. Just managed to take avoiding action. We'll speed our way back down there. Unleash the full might of this 950 horsepower engine. A mighty 62 miles an hour. Certainly, twice the speed, more than twice the speed that our little telehandler can manage. That goes at just 26. So it takes a lot longer to go from one side of the farm to the other. You can see just how long, even at 62 miles an hour, just how long these roads are. I did actually, earlier when I was trying to compact all the silage down, I did actually drive the little Fiat Agri up here at 9 miles an hour, and it took ages. It was painfully slow, really painfully slow, but brought it up here and then it didn't work, so it was a complete waste of time. So I had to bring it all the way back down again, and in the end I did the compacting with the 747 just because it's so heavy, it squashes everything immediately. But now we are finally at the bottom of the map. So you can imagine just how long that would have taken at just 9 miles an hour. There we go. Ramps going up, support feet will go up in a second. There we go. So let's get this up to the farm, and now we can start working with our bales. Not the most graceful way to grab the bales off the back of the trailer, but we have them. Let's see how many of these we can actually drop in for straw. All of them. Wow. Let's check our straw stats. Still space for more straw as well. So let's grab those other 2 bales from that 5 stack. I want to make sure that the straw is completely full before we start making some TMR. Both of those are in, and we still have space. So the rest is going to have to be done loose. So this is where I need to be a little bit clever. Let's undo the straps on the rest of this trailer. There we go. Now our mixer can take 4 bales at a time, so we are going to grab 4 bales at a time. Hopefully without wrecking everything else. There we go. We'll drop these straight into the mixer. And then we can blow some of that into our food area, and the rest will get emptied into the silo. It's been a while since we used this. We're not going to use all 4 of these. There we go. So we needed just over 1 more bale, effectively. Let's move out the way of our Lely Juno. We'll add the rest of the straw into our forage silo just here. And then once that's done, rinse and repeat with the rest of the bales. Been getting into quite a nice little rhythm doing this. Lining up the top 4. Spiking and lifting. Go, and then jump into this, hit the empty button, and that starts to empty the straw while we position for the next lot. A nice, simple, efficient way of turning 16,000 litres of wrapped straw into loose straw and into the silo incredibly quickly and efficiently. And because we're only picking up 4 bales and not 8, we don't have to worry about, you know, massive weight problems on our forks. This is nice and stable. It wobbles a little bit from side to side as we turn, but that's to be expected. And there we go. That's it. That is the last of the straw. So, how much do we have in stock? The last little bit goes in now. 251, nearly 252,000 litres of straw. That's plenty. That's going to last us an eternity. And we still have that beet sale to do. Our silage isn't quite complete yet. It's in the 90s now, I think. So very, very close to being ready to ferment, ready to unwrap. Look at that, 95%. So this is it for this episode. In the next episode, we will make some TMR. We'll sell some beets, and we'll also probably make a start on harvesting our sunflowers as well. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will catch you all again back on Big Bud Farm next week.